Welcome to my newly created channel, A Spark Within. Today I wanted to talk about getting good at receiving feedback as well as giving feedback. Now, feedback is really important because it is useful information when it comes to making improvements to ourselves as well as helping someone else improve, because being clear is being kind. Mark of strength is when we get really good at either receiving feedback and we stay really grounded in that, in whether it's negative or positive, and the way we all share feedback for someone, and which also empowers them to take it forward, and you can just see improvements happening. So today I wanted to share a couple of pointers from this fantastic book that I've read a number of times now, called Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. And if you would like to pick up a copy, it's on the link below. Just hit the link, see how we can implement it in our day-to-day lives, whether it's within the work setting or even in your relationship, because I do think some of those principles can be really used in both settings. The first one is, I'm ready to sit next to you. Now, this is just so beautiful. It means that not just physically that there's a big table in front of us, it means, as well as making sure we close that gap, it's also trying to be emotionally ready to connect. Number two, it's putting the problem in front of us. Now, it's shift it and say, how can we work on this problem? This has happened, this is the situation, how can we solve it? And that just creates it opens up your mind to try and look at the problem and try and see what solutions there are, rather than getting really defensive. Number three is be ready to listen and ask questions. Just remaining curious is such a superpower, and I feel this could be applied to a work setting, in your personal setting. And when you are ready to do this, it just is where the magic unfolds. It really opens up the space where the other person is, feeling heard, and it becomes like a conversation of ideas rather than an attack, and the person gets defensive. Number four, it is giving positive feedback and then follow it with negative feedback. Our brain, when we start off with the negative, will automatically just be resistant to hearing anything that follows, and will not want to listen and even pay any attention to it. So the most effective way is you start off with something positive. Number five is strength-based feedback. Now, how would this play out? Now let's use Amy as an example. Amy is fantastic at creating engaging content, and the feedback would be, hey Amy, you are fantastic at creating engaging content. However, you're not using that skill set as much. You could have used this yesterday or last week in presentation ABC, where you could have made the presentation really engaging. And that's how strength-based feedback would be used. Number six is holding the person accountable without blaming or shaming them. Now, when we have felt like we've been blamed or shamed, you're just not going to be listening, and you would absolutely shut down. Number seven is you own your part. So for instance, it could be that I failed to do something in a timely manner, which then meant that Bob or Amy were not able to then work on their part as well. So it would be, we're both actually accountable, and I'm not afraid to own my part, which would then have a knock-on impact. When the person is receiving that feedback, they would also feel that they can own their part as well, because we are in it together. Number eight is when you can genuinely praise someone for their efforts without criticizing them, and just that pure genuineness. When it comes through, that person absolutely feels it and is receptive to hearing what you have to say. Number nine, it's when you are giving feedback as well. It's about talking about how improvements could, you zoom back out and say how those could lead to opportunities, growth for that person. It's just making the individual see the bigger picture. When we work on the small bits, the micro, let's take a look at the macro and just see how it all fits in. and by working on it, it leads to a really positive outcome. And number 10, which I think is really important, is when I model vulnerability and openness, I will also get the same back. And I feel a lot of us are afraid to be open and vulnerable. We see that as a sign of weakness, but the more you show that, people will genuinely open up, and it just becomes an interaction of two human beings who just want to do well and have positive outcomes in every situation. I hope you found this useful, and I personally think that these principles don't just apply to a professional setting, it also applies to a social setting, whether it's within your marriage or relationship, in any setting actually. But the main thread here is just remaining absolutely open and curious, and having that level of grounded confidence. If you like this video, please hit subscribe. See you then. Bye.